is no template to how AACRAO approaches an engagement. It's data informed based on practitioner experiences for sure, but it's very much driven by a partner's institutional mission and priorities.
The planning your way approach to our consulting means that we start where you are and not where we've been. One of the most important and I think productive ways that we work, in which we work with our colleges and universities, is asking them not only what they need, but really looking at the structure they have, the values and the culture of their institution, and what their future goals are as well. One of the first things we do is interview various members of the institutional community. We study the school, we look at their past, their trajectory, and their future.
Each institution's distinctions, strengths, competitive advantages, and opportunities emerge for further exploration that are used to build out the institution's SEM plan that is baked in the institution's overall plan.
The key components will be the fact that we go in there with an open mind, that we go in there with our expertise, not at specific kinds of schools, which certainly does help, but with our expertise in the field of enrollment management and looking at enrollment management strategically.
The first key component is that the plan is data informed. It's also grounded in the institutional mission and institutional priorities. So I was the co-lead with an AACRAO partner on developing a SEM plan for a 2-year institution. And the institution had a particularly strong market position, but did not have great data captured. We helped them identify which important data to begin capturing so they could build a plan. And we were able to diffuse concerns about adding on to another plan to what was already involved in the institutional plan. We were able to help them talk about adding in versus adding on, such that the SEM plan was part of the institutional plan. And based on stakeholder engagement on campus, we were able to be more of a guide that facilitated conversation, allowing them to take the wheel and drive.
I worked with an institution in Chicago as an AACRAO consultant, and that institution had a tremendous amount of turnover leadership-wise. And so it was very important not only to know what the new leadership wanted, but also to have an understanding of what the old leadership had in place. They were also looking at really pivoting on how they were going to approach higher education, going from a more traditional model of recruiting students to one where students did not pay tuition, but instead all students had free tuition because they worked in the institution. This was going to create a lot of cultural change. And so we really had to have conversations with many of the institution's leadership, members of the institutional leadership and faculty, to talk about how this kind of change would impact what they do, how they did it, how they perceive students. The student body was going to really change from being primarily, under 25 to many of them being over 35. And so all of that had to come into play. It was complex once again because of the change in leadership. At the same time, a very big change in how they were going to approach their student body.
AACRAO is happy to and comfortable with guiding and managing the implementation of a SEM plan based on an institution's needs or wishes. But also, as SEM plans are developed and grounded in data-informed practices, there are key benchmark metrics established that allow an institution to track their own progress on the SEM plan implementation, allowing them to hold themselves accountable while tracking their own momentum.
Sometimes we overlook the challenge of culture and the challenge of mission. And so many times I've worked with schools where they want to go forward, but the way forward is not within the realm of their mission. And so really helping schools remember what their mission is, remember what that core is that got them there, that put them there on the map in the first place, and helping to build around that has been very, very helpful.
Given how AACRAO consultants are practitioners, they understand the dynamics at work on a campus. That said, given they are not being asked to do the operational work of enrollment management on a campus, they provide institutional capacity within a SEM planning environment.
Making sure that we're really talking to as many people as possible. Oftentimes our opening meetings might have between 30 and, could have up to 30 or 40 people. And I have literally had opening meetings with 30 people in them from various departments and organizations and programs on campus.
From my perspective, as AACRAO is a nonprofit organization, they work to add true value based on an institution's mission and priorities. And also, as a practitioner-based organization, consultants are matched based on their experiences and how they can align to that of a partner.
Even though enrollment encompasses the students' interest in your school, their application and admission to the school, it also has to include their retention and the graduation from the school, and it being a very positive experience.
My sense is SEM has evolved over time to become very learner success driven, tied to working to achieve desired outcomes. It's grounded in adding value throughout the entire learner life cycle, not just focusing on admission on the front end. And given the headwinds in higher education today, AACRAO continues to take a broad-based approach and thinking about a diversity of enrollment tools versus just focusing on traditional student age recruitment and admission.